Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're at Club100 Cadet, and this is the first, or actually second academy at Buckmore Park. And it is wet. You can see there's puddles on the side, there's dirt, and you can also see the different camera mount. At Club100 you're not allowed to put it on your helmet, but you have to put it on the cart, so there's a mount just on the front right. And I don't know if it looks better like this. It's obviously more, you can hear the engine better and stuff, especially because this is a two-stroke kart. And just now as I come out the pits, I'm going to go past someone, and I can feel that the acceleration and the brakes are both very sensitive, so you have to be very careful with your inputs. A bit too much on the acceleration, you'll spin out, foreshadowing for later. But anyway, you can see the spray from the kart ahead. I am wearing my wetsuit like the kart ahead, and we're just going to go past him. So this is all about testing, not really about racing, but we're going to have some nice overtaking moves. But anyway, we need to learn the track, get used to the kart, get used to this acceleration, get used to the engine, because I've never driven this kart before, never been to this track. And it's also very special when you're going to the track for the first time and it's wet. So you find it harder to learn the track, but it does give it, like, it is harder to learn the track in the wet for the first time, but it gives you, and like it makes it easier if you're doing it in the dry next. So anyway, so I'm kind of getting stuck behind the cart ahead, and you can see the external view like all the time, and you can also now see telemetry on the bottom left. So yeah, I finally found out how to put telemetry on my GoPro, so we're going to be seeing how much speed I'm going at and stuff like that. And later on we're also going to be having the track map. I don't know why someone's stuck on the side of the road there, but anyway, it's going to be track map. But sadly with this video, I'll explain later why there isn't a track map. Here I go a bit wide. The thing with this track, the track limits on this track are very strict. If you can see that red rumble strip, if you go past the white line on that red rumble strip, it is track limits. You're not allowed. It's so strict, it's so narrow. You get a warning and then you get black flags. Luckily I didn't get black flagged in any of my sessions. But look here, I was really confused when this happened, but when I look back onto it, I broke in at a certain point where it was a bit greasy. Okay, now I'm gonna have an external view. I'm kind of waiting there, waiting. Is someone gonna come get me? But let me just explain what happened. There was a point where I started braking. I thought my brakes just didn't work, but it was greasy at one point. There's someone trying to run towards me. It was greasy, and it basically, my brakes, they don't work when it's greasy. You have to, and because I kind of panicked, I let go of the brakes and I just went straight into the barrier. This isn't the only time this is going to happen throughout, yeah. This isn't the first time it's going to happen. It is the first time. It's not going to be the last time either. So it is going to be, it's going to be annoying. That's why I hate to hairpin. Well, I don't hate it, it's hard. You can also see someone else spun out into the barrier. But that's our first incident of the day, and now we're stuck behind, well, not stuck behind, but now we are behind this kart in the orange helmet. Let's try and get past, let's make some room, let's get some quick lap times. This is the second academy on the Sunday, not the Saturday, and I was watching people on the Saturday, and they were getting lap times. The quickest, which was Rory Hamilton in the super lightweight, he got a 104, which I don't think I'm ever going to get close to. And nobody today in the super lightweight got a 104, not even the juniors, which probably shows that yesterday was it wasn't as wet. But in the morning, you see this patch here, that part of road, that was pretty much flooded. It wasn't flooded, but there was some big puddles there. But I'm in the fourth session of the day, because I'm in Group B cadets, so people cleared it out, especially after 30 minutes of go-karting. It's definitely cleared out, so there's no more puddles. They might be on the outside of the track, but definitely not on the inside. Here I brake in the same spot. I brake a bit earlier this time, so I don't do the same thing again. But yeah, now it's just about learning the track, especially in hairpin 1 and 2. There's so many lines you can take. You can go wide, cut back in, you can just go all the way around the outside. There's so many things you can do. I love this corner here where you go over that curb, and it's just really quick down here. The elevation, the GoPro does not show it, but the elevation changes on this track are just monumental. It goes from around 400 feet in the air. I'll show you a little clip of the elevation changes later on, but the elevation changes are just crazy, especially going down here. You might be able to see on the GoPro, you might not, but when you go to this track in the first time, I'm telling you, the moment you look at that part of the track, you're like, okay, that is steep. It's still, yeah, it doesn't have a bridge and stuff like Brighton karting, but this is a professional circuit. Lewis Hamilton raced it before he was Lewis Hamilton, I guess. And you might see now why the camera's moved, and now it's looking at the actual bumper. So, okay, that's the orange kart ahead, another orange helmet, who's spun out into the barrier, but turns out we didn't tighten the screw on the GoPro camera tight enough, and you can see the consequence of that later on. But anyway, this session, so far everything's going well. I still haven't got my racing license from Club100, and this academy was mostly like you're trying to get your license, but they weren't looking at quick lap times, but mainly about discipline, which I understand is important. But the one thing they said is they're not going to look at the first session that much, just because it's when you learn the track, new things. So from what I see, that mistake I made just doesn't really matter, and it wasn't that big anyway. It was just, yeah, I'm still getting used to the car and stuff. But now we're on 3 minutes left in the session, if I can read that. I don't know if I've read it right. But now there's another car ahead. Just gonna get past them, and you can see the camera's moving more and more towards the bumper. And later on, the camera will decide to look at the floor, but we'll get to that later on. Coming around here, getting a good line. You need to get extra speed, especially in the second hairpin. Cut back in. Just the only problem with the camera position is that it's on the right, and if it's like a left apex like there, you can't see me going next to it or anything, which is annoying, but I guess you don't have anywhere else to put it. On the junior karts though, you have it on the rear, on the front wings, like the tunnel part going down. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, you put it on so it's in the middle. Yeah, that looks better, so you can see more things, and it's higher up. But now you can see the camera's just decided to look at the ground, and there we go. So that's unfortunate, but that's the first session done. It's almost finished as well. So we're going to have to stop this first session here, but we will get back to the second session very shortly. Okay, so now we've just flicked to the second session. I'm in the pits now. So now what they do is there's a whistle system, and when they blow the whistle, turn on the engines, and then you go. It's really quick in these pits. The sessions are really rapid fire. The moment the cadet session before us, so it goes junior group A, cadet group A, and when cadet group A finish and the junior group B go out, I get into the kart. So I've got 10 minutes to get ready. It's a long time, and that's kind of what happens. It's really rapid fire. You have to be quick. There's no actual speed, pit lane speed limit. But in this session, I'm starting at the back, so I need to carve my way through the grid. I've already gone around the outside of someone, and now you might have seen this in one of the shorts I posted earlier this week, but okay, now I'm going to send it down the inside, and so I'm already carving my way through, but I'm going to get held up by this kart, and the person I've just overtaken is going to get passed again. I see a yellow flag, don't know what it's for. Taking a wider line than other people, and yeah, now I just have to carve my way through it. Here I'm going to go for another move, but it's going to work, but the orange helmet I went around the outside of on the final corner, I was going to get past again. So we're going to have to get past this one as well, and it seems like people ahead have kind of carved their way through as well. But through here I can't really get a move done, and there's someone spun round. It's not good, it's not looking good. Through here, this is a pretty difficult corner to go. He goes for a very ambitious move, but bumps him, and I'm going to get past with my exit speed. Don't even know. Some people are just not flooring it, I guess. People are not actually doing as much as they can. They're playing safe, which I understand, especially when it's your first time. And this is definitely not my first time karting. So, okay, try and do the same move, but it's not going to work. But I will get more exit speed. I'm going to go side by side, but he is going to force me wide because I assume he didn't see me. It's not normal for someone just to do that on purpose, especially in a test session. We both got the inside of this driver. I'm going to look for we've done the inside, but I'm not going to do the same mistake where it's greasy. But he's just going to decide to have a little meeting with Barrier, so I'm going to get past him as well. Now look how much space there is. I've got so much space to work with. It's also going to help. Now we're just going to have another external view just here. We can just see how it looks like from the outside. It's just there's a lovely grandstand at this karting track on where the camera's from. It's like a grandstand. We have to go up a hill through the forest, and then you get to the back and you film from there. It's really nice. It's really smart to put it there. I remember when I walked there for the first time. When I got to the track, there was a really old grandstand made of wood and metal. It was all rusted, and it was just at the end of Garda, sorry. So the corner before the really sharp downhill, so in the final sector, you'll see it in a bit. I'll show you where the grandstand is. It's really small though. And you can see, maybe not now, but yeah, you can see that grandstand just up there. It's really high up. You can see everything. It's a really lovely track. Everything's made beautifully. Especially the runoff. It's just made lovely. But anyway, this was actually my fastest lap, so let's just give it a break from commenting about the grandstands and just... This was my fastest lap of the session. It was a 1:07.7 or something like that, yes. And for my first time, it was good. It's a great lap time. Yeah, it was mostly clean. I just have to work on my braking points, especially in the wets. And you can see that, yeah, that just wooden thing right there, that is the first, I think it's the first grandstand. And then you can see another angle of that one over there. It's just really nice. But going around here, this is my fastest lap of the day, not just of the session. So that's a lovely lap. Surprisingly, it was in my second session. Or actually, no, this is my third session. I'll tell you why. Because when we were filming the second session, we accidentally put the video on time-lapse. And basically, okay, I've gone wide there. None of the telemetry worked, so the speed was stuffed because it's time-lapse. The track map was just utterly brutal. It was all over the place. I don't think you want to see it. Put it on the screen. You can see it just there. That's a screenshot of it. It's ugly. But anyway, it was on time lapse. If we slowed it down, it would have been worth it. It had no telemetry, so we're just going to keep it out. And it just you can see my improvement from the first session, where I got a 1:10 as my quickest lap, and now this is a 1:07. So I've gained 3 laps in 20 minutes. 3 seconds in 20 minutes, which is very quick improvement. But I'm just pushing. When you're at the bottom of the learning steps, it's easier to go up, but once you're at the top, it's harder to shave away those 10s, which is what I'm trying to do. But it's all about bravery on the brakes. Don't lock up. This is really hard corner to get right. There's so many lines through every single corner. This track doesn't have a certain wet line like Milton Keynes does. It's just everything's different through every part. For example, at Milton Keynes, every corner has a set racing line. That might be just because the karts are solely karts, but maybe for the D-Max it's different. I've never driven a D-Max. I would like to though. I'm just not old enough. Just wait a bit. But these karts have similar engines to the D-Maxes. They're 2-stroke, except they're Rotax Micro or Mini. I can't remember. But the junior karts are Rotax Maxes. They're pretty much D-Max karts, but for Club 100. So the junior karts and senior karts are both pretty much D-Max karts. They're both pretty much the same engine, not the same chassis, but similar. And what they told us in the briefing this time is that they've bought new junior karts just for the juniors. So because the seniors and juniors, I think they normally used to use the same karts, but now they bought junior karts just for the juniors. And yeah, he was saying as a joke, I'll hunt you down if you enter the tyre barrier, because I don't want, if you get a speck on it, you won't be coming back. It was a joke though, so Luckily, people get to go back to Club 100. Anyway, let's just carry on through the session. Through this place we go, down the hill. It's a lovely corner. It's a really weird line through here. You have to go pretty much off that track there. You can see that little crack in the road. That's supposed to be the track, because there's another way you can go, which is to the right, which you do go down there in rolling starts. But it's like you go down there, but then you turn and you have to get a really straight exit into paddock. So it's really weird. Down here, around the final corner, there's so many lines you can take. You can go around the outside, you can go tight. One of them's quicker. I'm still experimenting which one. There's not really a definite braking zone into the turn 1 in the wet. I've never raced there in the dry, so I can't make references to that. Here I kind of have another lock up there. Not really, but kind of doing. You might have seen the mini-map reset just there. It's because on the GoPro you record 8-minute, 9-minute clips, and every 9 minutes the clip changes and it kind of remakes the map. The map. And you can see you see at the end that really long part. That's when I went to the pits at the end of the session. So it records your whole session's route, and you just kind of it like shows you where you are on the route. So that's nice. But if you saw on the external, this guy is the quickest in the session. He was here yesterday. He's really quick, and I was following him. He spun out earlier, so I managed to catch up with him. And I wasn't really losing time. You can see how much the GoPro doesn't show because it's got stabilization on. But if you didn't know, every single, if you look at the car to head, that's kind of me. I'm always sliding all over the place. I'm never this smooth. It's just when the GoPro's got stabilization, it does that. Here there's someone spun out. And basically, it's weird because you get black flagged if you spin out when it's a yellow flag. Which it does happen to someone, but in the second session, so sadly we can't see that. And you can see how much we're sliding all over the place. Especially down here, it's really slidey. And I make the mistake here of copying his line. Actually, no, not here. That's a really good line. I don't copy his line. I think it was in the second session where I copied his line, but he made a mistake, so it kind of costed me. But look what happens here. We're going up here. I touch the red curb, the red rumble strip, and it just spins me around. It's just really slippery. I kind of panicked, and then I went round. It's not good, but it is what it is. I don't think there's much left of the session. As we go around the final corner, we don't have many laps left. We're about to enter our last session. So yeah, this is our last lap of the session. Let's see what we can make of it. Around the outside here, and yeah, you can see. I'm worried whenever I see the bumper, because I'm worried if the camera's going to go down or something. Because you can see what happened in the first session. Around here, going around. I love these two hairpins. They're really lovely to drive on, I guess. The track map it's just lovely. It's really well thought of. And on there was a notice board when I walked in, and it showed a timeline of the track, and back in the 1950s or something, or 1930s, I can't really remember, but the track was pretty much a dirt track. And on your screen now, that is the first go-kart ever made, so that's nice. But anyway, going down the hill, over that curb, it's really bumpy. All the curbs are really bumpy. There's someone spun around again, and that's the end of this session. So now we're going to see how you get into the pits. So it's weird, but when you're entering the pits on this track, you almost gain time, especially in endurance races. If you're not doing an endurance race here, when you go into the pits, you cut both hairpins and that diagonal section. So I'm going slowly now because I don't need to make a quick pit stop like an endurance race. But if you're in an endurance race, you almost gain time by going into the pits. Obviously you don't gain time, but you almost do. Because if you gain time, everybody would just use the pits, changing drivers every time, and it'd be a bit weird. Yeah, he's just going to tell me to slow down so I don't bump him. And then I get bumped from behind and I bump him. But anyway, that's the end of the third session. Let's see what I can do in the last session. So now, this is the last session of the day. And now look at that track map. What is going on there? Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. And it's something to do with the camera. And you know how I said the camera was a bit weird in the second session because of the time lapse, and I think it was also a bit weird in the first session. There was some like cuts going on, and that is because basically with the camera it fell off the cart, but luckily there was a string attached to it. But you can see what happens later on, and I'll explain why it was a mistake. Here he goes a bit wide. I'm going to get a better run, but I'm going to lift. Not going to go to the back of him, but then go up the inside anyway. So, if you don't know what happened, I use normally when I'm racing with my chin mount, I use a really big, like, lifted mount which has screws. That's a mistake. Maybe it's better when it's on a chin mount so you can move it around better. But when it's on the carts, here I get it butchered a bit wide. But okay, it was slippery there. Kind of got butchered a bit, but when it's on the cart, it's really bumpy, not like when it's on the chin mount. And because it had screws, the screw kind of loosened, and finally came off. Which means there was a part attached to the cart, and then the camera was just dangling off the cart. You'll see that at the end. You can see it. You're gonna see it. Yeah. Remember to wait for that because it's interesting what happens. But going down the inside of that cart, who just overtook me when I went a bit wide. It's a lovely move. And I've got another cart ahead of me, so we're gonna have to get past. I'm using the wide line there, not sliding a lot through that section there, keeping it clean. And around here I go very wide, pretty much go onto the side. And you can see I obviously did not take that line on this hairpin. You can see, watch this again. I did not take a line that sharp this time. Just watch it. And it just something to do with the GPS, because when the camera falls or moves around like that, it pretty much kills the GPS. It makes it all funny. So that's what happened there. But I'm gonna try and go for a run, just trying to go for a move, but it's not gonna happen this time. But I'm gonna have a run. He's gonna go a bit wide, and as we go here, and we're gonna go side by side, send it up the inside. Lovely move. Normally you're not supposed to go for a move into that corner except when it's wet. Here there's someone spun out, but I've never seen anyone go for a move like that unless it's wet, so that's different. And you can also see on the GPS, just there, apparently I turned into a lawnmower and decided to cut the grass, and look at that. My camera has fallen off. And I've just panicked really badly. I saw it. I'm going to stop on this side of the road, which is a mistake, because like I got told later on, it's putting myself in danger, so I should have gone into the pits, but I obviously didn't know that. And now the marshal's going to come over. He told me he thought I had a mechanical failure, and it was kind of all my fault and stuff. But he's going to, thankfully he turns off the camera so it doesn't waste battery. But sadly that will be the end of the video. This is one of the clips from earlier, just in full screen. You can see how much I'm sliding. It's a lovely kart, it's a lovely track, especially when it's wet. It's fun when it's wet. I prefer karting in the wet, but never when it's something competitive, just because it will kind of affect my performance. And definitely not when it's in Milton Keynes and the Sodi, because that's not fun. Especially, yeah, just some parts about it aren't fun. But anyway, thanks for watching. That'll be all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Well done for having patience to wait for it. But that will be the end. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and goodbye.